Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Geneva Skin. Today I am mixing a fresh batch of my face oil blend. This is the product in my routine that I have voted the most often used. This guy right here. So this is just a dropper bottle of oil. I have oily, acne-prone skin. As I have mentioned before, oily skin actually likes oil, both to break down the dirty oils existing on the face and to keep the facial oil flowing freely out of the pores instead of clogging. Sometimes this is the only product I'll use in a day. If I'm feeling lazy, tired, if I don't have a lot of time, I use it on my face. And I also use it on my entire body. Definitely the product I would keep if I had to choose one product from my routine to use forever. This facial oil gets me through everything. This is a dropper bottle that I just got at Whole Foods, but you can get them anywhere. I like it because it's glass, which means it's better for the environment. It'll last a lot longer than a gross plastic bottle. I like the dropper because it is easy to measure how much oil I'm using, and also because it's one of the more hygienic ways of dispensing a face product. So a tub of product that you have to be dipping into continuously is going to get dirty after a while. But a pump or a dropper is going to stay as clean as something kind of can stay, especially if you're refilling it. This bottle is 2 ounces, so it's TSA approved. It's really easy to fill and it's really easy to keep the proportions in mind. I'm gonna mix this right here in front of you so I can explain what that means as I go. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the dropper from the bottle. And empty it. I don't want any remaining oil to ruin the mix, basically. Put this on this clean towel temporarily so it doesn't get dirty while I'm mixing. I'm going to start with the tea tree oil. Tea tree oil is an essential oil. I also got this one at Whole Foods, but you can buy them at grocery stores and other local health food stores, which I try to do as often as I can. Tea tree oil is antibacterial. I like this bottle because it's 2 ounces as opposed to the usual like half-ounce essential oil bottles you can find. Essential oils are not a very sustainable product to be buying. They're heavy, they're liquid, they are expensive to make, and then they come in these tiny little bottles that you're kind of repurchasing all the time. So I like that this tea tree oil came in a bigger bottle. It'll last longer for how much it costs to get it to me and for how much I paid for it. For my acne, I kind of think it's one of the best natural things I have found to kind of keep bacteria at bay. In this 2 ounce bottle, I generally like to use 24 to 30 drops of tea tree essential oil. Sort of depends on time of year, how my skin is feeling. In the summer, I might want a little bit more because I'm sweating, the oil sticks to me more, it's more humid outside, the bacteria has kind of more chances to grow on my skin. In the winter, my skin is going to be drier, and so I might want a little bit less tea tree oil because tea tree oil can be drying. It's a little bit of a catch-22 because my acne does often increase in the winter because of scarves and turtlenecks and hoods and hats and stuff pressing against my skin. But I also don't want to like over dry it with too much tea tree oil. So I've been playing with these proportions for a little while, see what works best at any given point. All right, I put 30 drops in last time. And it's getting a little humid because it's turning into spring slowly over here. I think I'm gonna go with 24 this time. 24. And then just shake it a little so that as little oil builds up in the cap as possible. It can make it sticky, difficult to open, and it's wasteful. So just shake that a little bit into the bottle. So now I've got 24, 26 or so drops of the essential oil in here with what remains of the solution from the last batch. I like to put the tea tree oil in first so that as I pour in the base oil, they mix together sort of from the get-go. Now I'm going to add the base oil, the oil that I use to dilute the tea tree oil, make it less harsh for my skin. This is grapeseed oil. I like grapeseed oil because it is one of the oils that is most similar to facial sebum or your own facial oil. It's got a thin, light consistency. It's not too heavy. It doesn't have very much odor, which is something I've disliked about other oils. Coconut oil is a really great facial oil because it has its own antibacterial properties. It's really hydrating. It absorbs into the skin quickly. I just don't like the smell on my body as the day progresses. Like it's fresh and coconutty in the morning, but then by the end of the day, somehow I'm sick of it. So this is kind of what I've come up with instead. If coconut oil works for you, use coconut oil. I'm just showing you how I've sort of hacked my way to things that I think work better for me. Grapeseed oil is affordable. It's easy to find anywhere. I just buy this in the cooking oils aisle at a store. This one happens to be a little fancier. It's in a glass bottle, which I like for sustainability reasons. This one is also expeller pressed, meaning the oil was extracted by pressure as opposed to by applying heat to the seeds. This matters if you care about the nutrient content of your oil. An expeller pressed oil will retain more of the nutrients compared to a temperature processed oil. Heat and other things that are used to extract oils, like sometimes chemicals, can kill off the nutrients that were in the oil. So it's still an oil, and for cooking purposes, it's still a high heat oil, so that's nice, but it won't be as nutrient dense. Another great oil that is similar to your own face oil is jojoba, which actually I believe is a little bit more nutrient dense and good for your skin. It's outside of my price range most of the time. I like grapeseed oil. It's pretty much my favorite skin oil so far. This particular bottle does not say organic on it, so I don't think it is organic. If you care about organics, definitely spend the extra money. It will be less contaminated than a non-organic oil. Keep in mind that, as I've mentioned before, I believe it's pretty impossible to find things that are 100% contaminant free. In order to be labeled organic, something has to be 70% organic, and most things just can't be more organic than that because the world is built in sort of a poisonous way. But when I can afford to, I would definitely go with organic. This was on sale, so I went with accessibility on this purchase. So crack it open. Oh, here we go, nice. All right, cool. So one disadvantage to this bottle I'm seeing already is that it doesn't have one of those controlled oil drippers, meaning I'm gonna fill this on this towel to avoid getting oil all over my table. I'm always tempted to fill it right to the top, but when you're using a dropper bottle, you want to remember that the dropper will take up some space when you insert it into the bottle. So now I'm going to remove a stray hair. No fuzzies, great. Put this in here. I'm not going to fill it yet. I'm just going to insert it, screw the cap back on. I did get some oil here, so I'm gonna wipe that down a little bit. So now, without filling the dropper, I'm gonna give it a couple of turns, make sure it mixes well. Cool. And now, I fill the dropper. Cool. So I'm going to demonstrate my oil cleanse for you. All right. I have done nothing to my skin today, which is part of why I'm oil cleansing. I'm going to take a bath later, so I don't really feel like I need to go through my whole routine just because I'm going to be exfoliating and using all of my products later in the day. I have things I need to do. I just need to make sure to get the gross oil off, some new fresh oil in, give it some antibacterial tea tree oil to keep the acne at bay while I'm doing most of what I'm going to do today. I'm going to take a cotton pad. This is what I'm using most often right now. There are a lot of ways to oil cleanse, and this is probably the least environmentally friendly one, taking a cotton pad that I bought in a package from the store, dropping a few drops on it. A few drops by meaning many, like the majority of this dropper will go on here. And then rubbing it on my face. I do this because it's convenient right now, but something that has been more sustainable and more luxurious in the past has been to smear the oil on and rub it in good with my fingertips, and then take a hot washcloth. So like run it under hot water, or dip it in a bowl of water that you recently boiled, wring it out, place it over my face for kind of like a few minutes of steam, and then removing the excess oil with that warm cloth. You can do that as many times as you want to. Steaming your face opens the pores and helps bad stuff come out, good stuff go in. So that's a really great sustainable option. But gotta make sure that I get all my acne prone areas, which are mostly along the jaw and my cheeks here. I used to get more acne on my forehead like in high school and college. Couldn't tell you why that has subsided. Some of acne, as you may know, is related to age and hormones, so I have less acne than I used to have, but I can't chalk it up entirely to my routine or products. I have watery eyes, and the exposure to the salty liquid does kind of dry out the area around my eyes often, so I do sometimes like to get the oil kind of close to the eye. Not up to the opening of the eye or the waterline. Front of my ears. And then also I like to get behind my ears. I do get acne on my neck and my chest. I don't oil cleanse there because especially in the winter, clothes will rub up against it and kind of make the problem worse. This just prevents air and contaminants in the air from sitting on my skin all day. That feels pretty good. This oil will help my facial oils flow out of my pores easily instead of getting dry and stuck. And the tea tree oil sitting on top will inhibit some bacteria growth. Nothing's perfect. I still get acne, but it does help. I'll show you what it looks like. There you have it. It was a clean white cotton pad, and now it is a dirty face oil cotton pad. This is pretty average. Even if I do it once a day, it'll look like this. If I do it twice a day, it might look a little less dirty. It does also depend on where I'm going in my life and the weather. So if I'm out in the world a lot more, like stuck in traffic and stuff like that, the cotton pad will be dirtier. If there's more humidity in the air that day, dirt will more readily stick to my face and the cotton pad will be dirtier. So sometimes in the winter or in really dry climates, this can give the illusion that my face isn't that dirty, but it's just a different type of dirt, and this is why you also foam cleanse afterward if you care to do so. I do also like to exfoliate my lips a lot. When I was younger, I never exfoliated my lips before, but I started doing it a few years ago. My lips feel amazing. I feel like the area around my mouth or around other people's mouths is often a neglected area. Like when you put on a face mask, you avoid this part and you avoid around here. But I do still get acne, sometimes close to my lips or in my eyebrows. So I try not to ignore those areas. I get in there, I'll be more gentle if I need to, but I definitely don't avoid putting products or masks in my eyebrows or around my mouth, depending on the product. Okay. I don't need to overdo it. Again, I'll take a bath later, so it's not imperative that I do the best job. Bark, bark. So if I open this, this is the side I used on my lips. It's not as obvious, but I can see from here that that side is dirtier. It's got dead skin on it and stuff. Ew. So let's fold that up. Other than oil cleansing, which again can be done several different ways, I like to use this oil in my serum step. So a serum goes after you've cleansed and after you've added products like toners or essences, and it's sort of like your first moisturizer. It's like a thin, light first moisturizer. Another good oil for this is rosehip seed oil, which is great for wrinkles. I'll apply like somewhere between 2 to 4 drops of this in a thin layer over my face and the top part of my neck here, right by my jawline, as a serum, and then I'll put moisturizer over that, especially in the winter. And then I use it as an all body moisturizer year round actually. This is great in the summer and winter. It helps with the acne that I get on my arms, my back, and my chest. And then if I need something thicker because it's winter or I'm in a really dry climate, I'll add something like Shea or the Egyptian Magic to either dry patches. Sometimes I'll get like a circle of dryness for no reason. It works well for that. Or then like dry areas that are perpetually more dry, like elbows and knees. So this is product voted most often used in my routine. I do some days use nothing, but I'm being responsible. I'll at least use this to keep the oil flowing, to add some antibacterial tea tree oil to help kind of keep the acne at bay. Did I miss anything? I'm really interested to know, what is the product you use most often? Tell me in the comments. Like and subscribe to keep up with Geneva Skin. And remember to do something loving for yourself today. I'm going to take a bath. I'm going to drink some sparkling water because it makes me feel refreshed. Probably going to watch a little TV.